Hello and welcome to Desert ABC, a video about the desert by me, your host, Miss Northrop. In this video, I will be telling you information about the desert based on 9 different letters of the alphabet. You'll find out about desert animals, plants, geography, and physical features. Let's get started. The first letter we'll look at is A. A is for arid. Arid means very dry. In fact, deserts are classified as deserts because they're dry. How dry, you ask? Deserts are required to have no more than 10 inches of rainfall or other precipitation for the entire year. Some deserts actually receive a lot less than 10 inches of precipitation per year. The Atacama Desert is seen in the picture below. It's the driest desert in the world, and it's located in South America. The Atacama Desert gets less than 1 inch of precipitation per year. There are even some areas that are so arid, they've never seen precipitation in history. That's seriously arid. B is for barrel cactus. Now, when most people think of the desert, they think of cactuses or cacti. However, cacti are really only native to the Americas. That's kind of weird to think about. The barrel cactus is one type of cactus. You can see that it's kind of shaped like a barrel. It's known for its bright red, yellow, or orange flowers, even though there's not one in this picture. Cacti are cool though because they have these ridges. The ridges allow the cactus to soak up lots of water. That way it can expand. There they are. Cacti are also known for their spines. Spines are used by cacti instead of leaves. That way they don't evaporate so much water into the atmosphere since the desert is so arid. C is for the Chihuahuan Desert. You may think of Chihuahua as dog. Well, that's because it is a type of dog, but it's also the name of the second largest desert in North America. The Chihuahuan Desert is located mostly in Mexico, but it also comes into New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas, as you can see on the map. The Chihuahuan Desert is 140,000 square miles, and you can see in the pictures on the right that it includes both mountains and sandy areas. E is for elf owl. The elf owl is the smallest owl in North America at only 5 inches tall. The elf owl is nocturnal. This means that it sleeps during the daytime and comes out to hunt and live its life in the night. Elf owls eat insects, scorpions, and spiders. They live in the southwestern United States and migrate into northern Mexico during the winter. You can see in this picture that they often make their homes inside cacti. Skipping ahead to G, G is for global because deserts are found all over the world. In fact, they're on every single continent. Well, that is if you count Antarctica as a desert, which, since it gets less than 10 inches of precipitation per year, it should count as a desert. Some people consider it the polar climate, though, and don't call it a desert. Another interesting G word is Gobi. Gobi is the name of that desert right there. The Gobi Desert is 500,000 square miles. It's a cold desert, and it's located in China and Mongolia. I is for insects. Insects are one of the most common forms of life in the desert. Here are 3 examples of common insects found in the desert. The desert cricket gets its moisture by drinking water that is condensed on the leaves of plants. The darkling beetle is interesting because it can raise its legs and then spray a foul-smelling odor at its predators. It's just one of many types of beetles found in the world's deserts. And then there's the antlion. The antlion is known for digging a hole in the ground shaped like a funnel and then luring ants to fall into the hole where they can eat the ants. L is for lizard. There are many different types of lizards living in the desert, including the Gila monster. The Gila monster is the largest type of lizard that is native to North America. Be careful though, because it's poisonous. In fact, if it clamps its jaws onto you, you better watch out. They're very hard to open. You'll also see here the horned lizard. There are many types of horned lizards. This one's a Texas horned lizard. It likes to dig under the sand to keep cool on hot days. And finally, I've included a picture of the sand diving lizard. This one is from Namib. Namib is a desert in Africa. Believe it or not, this lizard is only about 2 inches long. Namib sand diving lizards love to live in sand dune areas of the desert so that they can dig underneath. They eat seeds and also insects, so they're omnivores. P is for Palo Verde tree. You can see from the picture that in the desert, trees don't get very tall. That's because the soil's not very rich with nutrients and it's quite arid, so they don't have very much water to grow. Palo Verde trees are found in the Sonoran Desert. That's in the southwestern section of the United States. An interesting thing about Palo Verde trees is that they're often found in the same areas as saguaro cacti. Here are some saguaro cacti right there alongside the Palo Verde trees. The reason for that is because the Palo Verde trees provide shade so that young saguaro cacti don't get burnt up in the desert sun. R is for rocky. That's a physical feature of the desert. Sometimes you can find really cool rock formations in the desert. That's because it's so windy, and the wind and sand whittle the rocks down into really interesting shapes. See these that are just sort of leaning and they're all jagged and carved out by the wind? Or here where you have just sort of a field of rocks. Deserts are quite rocky. S is for Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert is the largest desert in the world other than Antarctica. Get this, it's 3.5 million square miles. You can see in the map that it's found in northern Africa, including Egypt. When most people think of the Sahara, they picture this really sandy area full of dunes, like that picture there. But actually, only 30% of the Sahara Desert is sandy like this. The remaining 70% of the Sahara looks like that picture. You can see those are mostly gravel plains. Here, where you've got lots of small bits of rock just filling the ground. V is for varied temperature. Varied, like it ranges from really cold to really hot. When most people think of the desert, they only think of hot deserts, and there are a lot of them. The Sahara is a hot desert, as well as those found in the United States and even the outback in Australia. Hot deserts can get as high as 159 degrees Fahrenheit. They average 86 degrees for the whole year. That includes the winter. Here's a map showing all the hot deserts in the world. But there are also cold deserts. That's why we say it has a varied temperature. Cold deserts do have pretty warm summers, but they have cold winters. For instance, in the Gobi Desert, that's this one here in Asia. In the summer, it does get up to 65 degrees, but in the winter, it can get down to negative 15. You can see that deserts have a real variety in temperature. Okay, here's our last one. Y is for yucca. A yucca, well, there are actually lots of different types of yucca, but yucca plants can grow up to 30 feet tall, and they can live as long as 300 years. They're found in the deserts of the U.S. and Mexico. You can see that in the summertime, some yucca trees will even grow flowers. Yucca trees are cool because Native Americans use their leaves and roots to make baskets. I hope you've enjoyed my presentation about the deserts, and I hope you've learned a few things too. such as a few types of animals found in the desert, as well as plants, climate, geography, and even the physical features of deserts. Thanks for watching!